Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's digital news. Loads going on, even though we've been in lockdown for 9 weeks, 10 weeks now. A huge update is coming from Google Organic, some cool new reporting features, clarification of how we can use music on Facebook and Instagram, and much, much more. Enjoy. Evaluating page experience for a better web, and UX is going to now affect your Google SEO rankings. So Google has always made it clear throughout all of its services that Google rewards its advertisers who give its customers a good experience. With Google Ads, this is done through quality score, so this reduces your bid price, and with organic, it's your search results, so it's where your page rank that changes. So over the last few years, we've seen through Google Webmaster Tools, so the system which we can manage our data and organic visibility, tools like page speed and mobile friendliness being introduced as Google starts to use these elements more and more in its organic ranking algorithm. At the end of May, Google has let it drop. There's going to be quite a major release next year. Now, we don't normally get an advance notice of such an update, so I'm thinking this is going to be a big one. Now, the update is around a new set of metrics Google is launching around responsiveness, visibility, and stability called Core Web Vitals. I quote from Google, "Search rankings change that incorporates these page experience metrics." So these metrics are going to directly affect your page rankings, which is huge. So what does this actually mean? Well, first of all, we're told not to panic. Their updates are not going to be rolled out until next year, and we'll be given about 6 months' notice before they do. But part of this actually makes me worry more, as I've never ever been given 6 months' notice for an SEO update before, so Now, the new term that is going to be the centre of the SEO world is page experience signals. The following are in the new signal. Now, some of these already are used by Google in its rankings, so things like mobile friendliness, can your content be accessed on a mobile device, safe browsing, making sure your site doesn't contain malware, deceptive pages, harmful downloads, etc. HTTPS, so if you're not using an encrypted connection, then actually you don't deserve to be ranked anymore. Pop-ups, so if you're using intrusive pop-ups, this will be a negative score against you. But the new ones are largest contentful paint. So LCP, this is the time it takes for the main page content to load. Now, ideally, Google is saying this should be less than 2.5 seconds. So the next important metric is first input delay. So this is the measure of the load time for the first set of pixels to be loaded and how quickly they can be interacted with. So this should be less than 0.1 of a second. And then the final new metric is cumulative layout shift. Now, this is a real bugbear of mine. And what it basically is if you're about to click on a button and that call to action moves because the content above it is loading. So it might be an advert's load and it pushes the call to action button away from where your finger is and you end up clicking on something completely different. So there are some reports that and checks that Google have launched to make you see if your site is up to speed with these new metrics, and we will link all of those on our Bluefirst website. There is also going to be a small but significant update for mobile top stories as part of this release. So if you're featuring AMP, accelerated mobile pages, the markup is no longer going to be necessary. However, I would recommend still using AMP pages if you already have them. Google Ads understanding changes with explanations. Now, have you ever noticed a change in a campaign and it can be quite hard to explain what caused it? So you can spend hours picking through all the data points to find what caused the change. There is currently a new beta trial where you can request an explanation. Some of the questions that can be answered are: how did bid changes cause effects? How did bid modifiers, so things like changes to demographic targeting, device or location targeters, have caused a change? Budget allocation, if you've moved budgets around, the tool can now allocate that to changes in results. Budget exhaustion rate, so has changing your CPC spent your budget quicker? Conversions, this is a great one. Has conversion tracking failed or changed during your reporting period? Eligibility, so were ads disapproved or not active during a period that have caused results? Any particular targeting changes, so you can accurately attribute your changes to improvements in results. Any interest in competition or search interest, so did you get 1,000 more impressions because your ads did a better job, your targeting did a better job, or actually were just 1,000 people more searching on the day? And also understanding how competitive the marketplace is changing over a period is incredibly useful. And then the final one, change history. So was it something that you've duffed up that made the mistake? So this actually looks like a really great tool and will allow you to answer those 5-minute questions that can sometimes take a couple of hours to answer. So actually a really great addition tool to Google Ads. So thank you very much, Google Ads. Updates and guidelines for including music in video on Facebook and Instagram. So Instagram is part of the Facebook family, so I'm assuming what is released by Instagram also applies to Facebook. So Instagram's clarified its guidelines for using music in its videos on its platforms. Even though Instagram encourages the use of music as part of the creativity of content on its platform, and it does have a number of agreements with music right holders, there are, however, limits on what we can do. The following guidelines have been released for music. Number 1, there is no limit on music on stories for things like filming live events or bands. Number 2, there are a number of, if the greater the number of full-length tracks used, the more likely that your broadcast will become limited or muted. Number 3, short music clips are always recommended because of this. And then finally, number 4, there should always be a visual component to your video, i.e. the recorded audio should not be the primary purpose of the video. If you do want to use music in either your Facebook or Instagram content, do check out Facebook's sound solution and we'll put a link to it. All of this library of music can be used at no cost. It is very frustrating when you go live and you get caught up in a music filter. Facebook has promised to let broadcasters know earlier in the broadcast so that they can make adjustments to their feed to avoid being muted or paused. Or if the worst does happen and you are muted or blocked, a better diagnostic is promised that will allow you to make changes for your next broadcast. Facebook Messenger can now be used to answer customer messages. Now, we've mentioned a number of times as Facebook is expanding its operation into shops and other sets of tools, one of those core quality metrics of a page on Facebook is going to be how quickly you respond and reply to customer questions through its platform. Facebook is currently rolling out an update that will allow page owners to use Messenger as a way to write customer responses, as well as using the tool for personal messaging. Facebook hopes that the change will allow businesses to quickly, on the fly, respond to customers. So if you are a page owner, on top of text messages and emails, you're going to start getting customer messenger messages pinging on your phone. Although this is a joke, it will be a useful tool to increase the speed in which we can reply to our customers through our page. Shoppable pins are coming to Pinterest. I do have to admit it, I don't use Pinterest that often. I have used it for wedding planning and ideas for the interior of my classic VW bus, but it's not really something I use every day. There is, however, a new interesting feature that's coming. You can take the photo of something you like the look of and get a set of results of the thing that you took the photo of that you can buy. Now, I could see this being very useful for, say, something like wedding planning. The new tab is coming to Pinterest. The shopping tab in the search results will now have shoppable pins. This will exist in the lens tool in the platform, so the lens allows Pinterest users to take the photo of an item to do a search. So if you sell products, now might be the time to make sure your products are uploaded onto the channel. And so if someone is looking for a product, your product, which looks something like the product they're interested in buying, they will find you. However, they might just Google it still. Email marketing tools coming to Facebook. So every day, Facebook is becoming the Western version of WeChat. Well, something spotted in testing was the ability to send business emails through the Facebook system. It's a strange new feature from Facebook, and it doesn't seem to integrate into anything, and you'll need to upload your own email lists to send. So I'm not quite sure why Facebook are testing this, although I have seen Facebook trying to resemble a CRM for lead generation campaigns. So could this be the starting point of Facebook stepping up its attempt to be seen as a business marketing tool? Well, that's it for another week. I hope wherever you are, you're safe, and I'll see you again soon. Don't forget to get these updates straight to your inbox. Subscribe using the link in the description.